Hello, my name is Anthony. I'm here to share with you some of my Christian testimony of why I became a Christian and who Jesus is to me. So, before I begin, this video will only allow me 10 minutes, and my testimony is much longer than 10 minutes. So, in essence, the testimony will be broken down into 3 or 4 parts. I don't know for sure, but I know 3 parts for sure. In this first video, we will be talking about my birth, my national heritage, my surrogate parents, my physical disability, and my home life, all in this first video. So, I was born in 1985 in London, Ontario. Yay! I'm born. Just like that. Overnight. I would like to tell you that life was smooth for me. I'm Italian, so what can go wrong, right? Truth is, it's not how it is. It's never how it is. I was born with a physical disability, and on top of that, I was born into a broken home. So, right away, Anthony has a great start to life. Great start to life. I was born with a physical disability called cerebral palsy. And now it is gone. It is cured through many surgeries. I no longer deal with that anymore because it is not my concern anymore. I was abused at home 5 or 6 times a day. So in essence, my grandmother and grandfather kind of took me over and raised me as their own. This angered my family a lot of the time. It angered my cousins, aunts, uncles, and whatnot. At one point, I even hated my mother and father and loved my grandparents because let's face it, they raised me. On an aspect you have to understand, growing up with a physical disability is physically demanding. It's emotionally stressful, and the burden on the physical disability itself is very, I don't want to say in too many words, it's tremendous to deal with at such a young age. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you have to understand, if you're born with physical disability, or any disability for that matter, you kind of stick out like a sore thumb in a world that thinks it's perfect. In essence, it's perfect, okay? You have to understand that you'll see a bunch of perfect people. There it is. The quota, perfect people. You'll see a bunch of perfect people, and they'll come up to you and ask you questions. Why are you like that? Why do you walk the way you do? God doesn't make people like that. Why are you like that? Did something happen? What happened? Why? 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 Every single day. Every single day. Every single day. You know who would ask me the most questions? Little kids. Little kids every day. Their wandering eyes and their mouth could not help but ask questions. So, what could I do? I couldn't answer them. They asked me the questions, and I kind of felt stupid because I didn't know myself. Because I was young. I was 7 years old. when the questions were brought to me. So at that time, yes, I kind of did stick out like a sore thumb. Um, the only highlight in my childhood was I got awesome grades. Straight A student. Straight A student. Yes, straight A student. Which proves I'm not dumb. I knew I never was. It's just the world thought I was. Um, so my grandparents became kind of like my own parents, and they raised me, as I said earlier. They took me to church, and they explained to me that if ever I needed Jesus, he was there. Now, I was baptized as a young child in a Roman Catholic church, but under the issue that I was Christian. Now, don't ask me how that happened, but it happened. See, somewhere along the lines, my parents thought this Catholic thing was crazy. I mean, 50 billion saints, come on. And I think they had the right idea. You know, who needs 50 billion saints? You only need one. I mean, okay, you can have respect for the 12, but really, you're only supposed to bow to one. And you're only supposed to fear one, and that is God. And you're supposed to respect what Jesus did for us. So, in essence, my family converted to Christianity. But there was a problem with that. See, they still had the Roman Catholic mentality that if you were baptized and you know who Christ is, then you're good. You're good on Judgment Day. You're good when you die. You're in heaven for sure. You know why? Because St. Peter's going to be there and he's going to let you in. He's going to ask if you're Italian and you're going to say yes. And you're going to ask if you believe in Jesus. And yes. And you're going to stand before God and he's going to ask you if you kept the 10 Commandments. And what are you going to say? Oh, really? I was supposed to do that? Really? Wow. Yeah. So, I hope you like that rendition. That's kind of the mentality my family has and has had for many, many years and still continues to have for many, 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 many years. Um, and I think that way because they weren't totally told the whole story. They were given one side of the details. You know, they were told that if you're baptized and you trust in Jesus, sorry about that, you trust in Jesus, and you're baptized, and you're Italian. We emphasize Italian in this family, very much so. Then you're in for sure, because Jesus will give you everlasting life if you put your faith in him. I mean, it says in the Bible, right? So that's what my family believed. So in essence, my grandmother, bless her heart, she took me to church, even though she was a Roman Catholic. But I think she took me to church because her ideas and thoughts and opinions were genuine. She wanted me to recognize who Jesus was and what he did for me and why it is important to trust in him. But in the same essence, I received the same detail. I was only told part of the story. Much of the details that I was told came from the details that my parents was told. So that wraps up part 1.